This is not a sob story.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those vegan guys. I thank you.
I wanted to tell you a little bit more about about Jason and I, and about the channel, and about our hopes and aspirations for it, and about some obstacles that have stood in the way, but then been not dealt with fully even as yet, but have been dealt with by and large. So we started this channel. I used to have my own channel in which I did a lot of videos like this, funnily enough, just kind of sitting and talking to the camera about my hometown and about my just about my observations and kind of analysing the world, kind of social commentary kind of thing, and some rants and stuff. And I really enjoyed doing that for a while. That was a channel, Actor Reactor, I started a long time ago, but never really put much into it. And then we started this channel, Those Vegan Guys, at the end of 2015. Because we were well into our vegan journey by then, and we were often talking about how unusual the journey had been, and how much we'd learned, and how much we'd had to learn, and how much things had changed for us. We just kind of got talking about, well, why don't we start a YouTube channel together to help people through those early steps of kind of, veganism. We both have an entertainment background, Jason and I. In fact, we met at college. I was doing a performing arts course and Jason was doing a music course, and we happened to be in the same show, The Tree That Holds Up the Sky, and got friendly. And anyway, the point of that being that we've always had an entertainment background, the pair of us. So we started the channel at the end of 2015. We did some stuff at the beginning of 2016. And then, was it December 2015, I started hosting a TV show in Manchester called, on a channel called That's Manchester. But the show was called Now We're Talking. And it was mostly one show a week, but it aired on the That's Manchester channel twice, on either a Saturday or a Sunday, and that was great, and I loved it. And anyway, I did this one show. Was it October the 8th, 2016? I think it was October the 8th, 2016. I did this one show. And I must upload it actually to my Actor Reactor channel at some point. And I was very negative about Theresa May. Very negative indeed about Miss Theresa May. And then somebody made a complaint to Ofcom, and a few weeks later I was kicked off the teller. So that was quite a, I was pretty devastated. It has to be said, hosting that show was one of the greatest loves of my life, and I will always say that. Nothing will ever change it. So, because I didn't get paid for the TV show, because it was voluntary, whilst I was there, I'd got a job at a bar. I'd got a job on the bar at a golf club. A few hours a week, great, just what I needed. Brought in a bit of income. Jason was working full time. I was doing a TV show, working at the golf club. Then the TV show was over, suddenly gone. I proper gutted me. So I'm getting over that, right? And it was 2 weeks and a couple of days, I think, after I'd been kicked off the TV show. An event occurred that we now sarcastically refer to as the horror, which is the word horror without the H. And that, sorry, my eyes are flicking all over the place, aren't they? I should look at you. I should look at you and talk to you, because you're giving me the joy of listening and giving me you're being gracious by listening to me. So, 2 weeks and a couple of days after I'd been kicked off the telly, November the 6th, 2016, we were victims in an armed robbery at the golf club where I worked. So I'll tell you a little bit about that, because it's very important to talk. So Jason had come to pick me up at the golf club, and I was kind of in charge that week, locking up and everything, because the manager of the bar was having a well-deserved week off. So Jason had come to pick me up, and it was about 6:20 on a Sunday evening, and we'd just been talking about how we didn't really see many of our friends anymore, and we should make an effort to do that more. So he'd come to pick me up. What we were doing, we were going straight up to our friends, Chris and Kirsty, to see them and the kids. And I've been looking forward to it all day. So, cleans up the bar like you do. Leaves, locking the door, and I feel an arm around my neck. And it's funny in a situation like that, because my immediate reaction for the, split second was, oh, who's this now? What, thinking it was somebody having a josh. No, but oh no. So the arm gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and I'm slammed to the floor, and somebody stood on my chin-neck and my chest, and I kind of look, what the hell's going on. So there's this one stood on me, there's one trying to kick the door in, and there's two carolling Jason from the car, to the door, and kind of getting him to crouch down and put his hands on his head. Can we say horrific experience? Because it kind of was. So, it's funny what you do in that kind of situation, because I didn't think about my safety for a moment, stupidly, which meant I got lots of punches and elbows, particularly from this one guy. I don't think he liked my attitude. So I'm there with somebody stood on me. I've got the guy who's trying to kick the door in stops kicking the door in and realises I've got keys on my finger, stupidly on my wedding finger. I've got the keys. He's trying to get them off me. I won't let go. This guy's stood on me. I'm just thinking, no. And then I swear blind, I heard Jason say he can't breathe, but he doesn't remember saying it. But I'm sure he did, because I literally couldn't breathe. This guy had kind of blocked off my windpipe. Anyway, so this black circle's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm struggling with the keys, and then I thought I have to do something. So I kicked up with my leg, and I managed to get this guy who stood on me. I kicked him. I'm sure it was in the head, and he got off me, and I sat up straight away and said, "Let me up, I'll open the door." Because by that point it was like, these guys don't give a damn at all. They've come here for summer, give it them, let them go away. Anyway, the healing from that was long and arduous. I thought it was fine. I was like, it was a bit of a, and I'm going to be really, really honest with you, it was a bit of a weird thing when we kind of got back, because obviously the police came, the ambulance came, the ambulance lady said to me at one point, like, open your eye and look down, and it was because my contact lens had gone up, you know, and so she had to just kind of drag it back down. She said I had to take off my wedding ring, which was the worst part of it all for me, because it had never been off, and it was off for 11 days. My hand went black, my eye went black, my neck went black, my back went black. And when we got in from the police reports, and blah, 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 it was about 4 hours later. We'd been there for like 4 hours, and we got in, and I stood in the kitchen, and I just burst out crying and said, he tried to kill me. And I stripped everything off, everything, and put it all in the washer, and went for a shower because I felt filthy. Well, I was filthy. I had mud all over me and a muddy footprint on my face. Yeah, so 4 masked guys with claw hammers and knives who were on actually a robbing spree. It was, I think we were one of 11 or 12 sport clubs that had got done over. I'll put a newspaper article link down there in the information so that you can have a look at that, just because, you know, it'll give you a bit of context. They caught one of them. He's doing 13 and a half years. So that halted us for a while, as things like that do. Although we did kind of manage to do a few videos in 2017. It was a really tough year, so I thought it was fine. Went back to work. A couple of weeks later, terrible pain in my chest and back, where I'd been stood on concrete, obviously. Terrible pain. Realised it was actually really suddenly hard to pull a pint, especially on the hand pump. I was like, oh, it's wrecking my chest. But I was fine during the day, whilst it was just the golfers. The first function I did, which was about 2 weeks after the horror, there was a big group of young lads right at the bar, and they were shouting. They were having fun. They were just having fun. Meltdown, panic attack, tears, fear. I had to leave the bar. My bar manager, Julie, lovely lady, came out and said, "Gee, Paul, go home." And I just said, you know, depending on what kind of function it is, I'm not going to be able to do many. And I had CBT on request, because for a few months the panic attacks and the anxiety were through the roof. Couldn't even ride on a bus. I had a panic attack in a theatre that I love and adore, the 3 Minute Theatre in Manchester, just because my back was vulnerable. Panic attacks in the street when a jogger ran past me. And that went on for a few months, and I ended up on codeine for the pain relief. Biggest mistake I ever made, because I had them for about 2 months. It might have even been a month. This is the thing, I have no recollection. All I know is that I was suddenly on 8 a day, and then I thought, right, I need to get off these now. And so I started whittling them down, 7 a day, 6 a day. By the time I got to 1 a day, unbelievably violently ill. For about 4 or 5 days, thought I had some kind of terrible infection. Went to the local drop-in centre, told him all that had gone on and about the codeine, and he said, right, so you've tapered and you've got down to 1 today. I said, yeah. He said, don't take another one, not another one, because of all the symptoms you have now, the next step is kidney failure. You're coming down from addiction. I was like, are you kidding me? I had them for weeks, literally weeks. They're that strong. So I had a 12-day come down. Oh, it were horrible. I never have baths. I'm one of those people who like to save water, always have showers. Never have baths. I had 12 baths over 12 days in a row. Couldn't keep anything down. Couldn't keep water down. Jason said he'd never seen me so well, ever. So yeah, a terrible start to 2017. And then, you know, we got back on track. We started kind of working on the channel, and we got our, right, what do we want to do with this channel then? And what we want to do is we want to promote down-to-earth veganism. But we're not just vegans. I'm an actor and a drag queen. Jason is an actor and a musician. In fact, we're both musicians. It's just he plays a plethora of instruments and sings. I only sing. And so we don't want this channel to only be about veganism, but that is always going to be the core of what this channel is about. And we will always be vegan. Because why? You got it. Vegans never quit. Full stop. And then over the last couple of months, I won't bore you with too much detail about this, but I'm quite an outspoken person. You might have noticed. And if I see something that I believe to be wrong, I will speak about it. I'll say it. And now in my last job, which was working with older people, which I adored, again, one of the great loves of my life. I adored it. I adored it. I adored them. They adored me. It was wonderful. And I was celebrated there for being outspoken. Because there were a couple of times when the people who attend raised things that other members of staff kind of hushed away, and I said, no, this is not right, they're paying customers. And the CEO was, oh, you're brilliant. But then the CEO hired her sister, and I disagreed with her sister, and went through 8 days of what I perceived to be bullying and goading, before I was suspended and then dismissed. And I was dismissed on March the 15th. So for the last few weeks as well, there's been more kind of turmoil. And Jason's taking all of this on his back because he does that. He's an amazing man, which is why I married him, of course. Or why we married each other. But because of our entertainment background, and because I seem to be nigh on unemployable, we really would like to make a living eventually from this channel. And from the other things that we do, the drag act, Jason's music, other entertainment, writings maybe. But we would love for this to be a part of it. Now, I can't ask you to come with us on this journey and help us to get to where we want to be with this without you knowing everything I've just told you. I need you to know that, because I need you to know who we are at the core, who I am at the core, and that this has been an endeavour that, like I say, that at the start, started at the end of 2015 and then had a few hurdles to overcome, which are now almost overcome. I do have an employment tribunal to deal with and attend at some point. And I need to find some of the work in the meantime. But our ultimate aim, and believe me when I say we are really prepared to work at it, because this is home to me. And thank goodness now it's home to Jason too. Because he was never one for, you know, it could have been that we started a joint channel years ago, but Jason was never really into it. And then when we went vegan together, we turned vegan together after like 17 years of vegetarianism. That seemed to be the perfect time. And here we are on YouTube with our channel, Those Vegan Guys. And I'm really glad now that I've told you all of these things, because I really wanted you to know them. Like I say, I wanted you to know us, because if we're going to do this, it's going to be together, right? So you need to know who we are, what we're about, what our story has been so far, where we've come from, and where we intend to go. And I hope with all of my heart, honey, that this little chat has done that. I hope it's I've revealed enough, because I could sit and talk for hours, let me tell you. Alas, it's 10 to 8. Jason is currently teaching guitar down at Performance Plaza, which he is solely keeping afloat at the moment. I told you, he's an amazing man. Much stronger mentally than I am, especially from the last couple of years, although I'm getting stronger again, and I'm going to build that up, and I'm going to talk about it as well, because if I was doing a fitness regime whereby I discovered that doing 30 press-ups a day was really helping me to trim my chest, and that was an area I wanted to work on, I would share that with you, right? And that would be physical health related. So I'm going to share tips and tricks, mental health related too, because it's just as important, if not more important, because if this ain't working right, you know, you don't need me to tell you, you're not daft, are you? You're right, clever. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to finish now, because I'm going to start preparing a lovely hot meal for my wonderful husband. Until next time, please be excellent to each other. All of my heart shows. Aye, if you're watching this, you've got to the end of our video, so well done for that, and we appreciate you watching. We'd love it if you liked this video, shared it with your friends and family, subscribe to our channel, and
click the bell for notifications.
And that way you find out about all our future videos, and there's a lot coming, honey, let me tell you.